to listen deeply, to give yourself the gift of building your wisdom well, to give others the gift of building their wisdom wells, softening the edge of how we communicate, of how we ask questions, is really, really helpful. Like all polarities and opposites, there's a relationship between speaking and listening. If we want to improve our listening, we might also want to improve how we speak. When we improve one, we tend to improve the other. By softening the edge of how we speak to each other and how we ask questions, we actually invite deeper listening. It's an opportunity to send that bucket down deeper than the surface mind. When we ask questions with a hard edge, what happens is that people either say, "I don't know," or they drag their bucket through the sand and deliver surface answers. If you sit in meditation and you ask yourself questions with a hard-edged style, you're going to do the same. You're going to feel that pressure and you're going to answer, your surface mind will answer, "I don't know," or it will just sprout forth surface thoughts. So there are many ways to soften the edge of how we speak and how we ask. But here are 3 things to consider: adding care, compassion, and curiosity to how you speak and how you ask questions, whether this is in an inner dialogue, in your meditation and your mindfulness practice, or whether this is as a master coach, where you're helping someone else to go deeper, to find their wisdom, to show ourselves and others that we care, instead of the very traditional sympathy, shame, or wonderful, great cheerleader extremes. It can be really helpful to show care through attentive presence and empathy rather than sympathy. So our habits can be, "Oh, shame, that's terrible," and "Oh, wonderful, great," those 2 extreme high and low acknowledgements. But often, especially as master coaches, we learn there's a price we pay with those 2 extremes, and they do keep the conversation generally at a surface level most of the time. If we want to go a bit deeper, there's something about the more neutral but caring, present, being engaged, sincerely interested, and simply showing care in our tone, in the warmth of our voice. And don't underestimate the power of just intending to open your heart, just to be present with someone with an open heart is so powerful, so transformative compared to the very typical surface, great, wonderful, oh, terrible, shame. Not that there's anything wrong with those, right? When we're being friendly, when we're chatting, that's often just natural speak. But for depth, for transformation, as a meditation, mindfulness, or master coaching practice, rather open your heart with empathy and show care in your tone of voice. This is to yourself, to your own mind, to your own heart, and to others. Compassion is many things, but to help us to understand how to evoke more compassion as we build our wisdom wells for ourselves and others is to notice when we're taking a plus position, superior, I'm, trying so hard, I know better than you, the plus position, yes? which is often a compensation for when we feel minus, right? It's trying too hard. It's exaggerating, dominating, controlling. It feels a tad superior, yes? Minus is feeling inferior. It's hiding, it's avoiding, it's contracting, it's minimizing. Sometimes we're very good at spotting the plus as ego, but the minus is just as ego. It's a sneaky ego state. Compassion is neither plus or minus. It's equal to being. In the outer world, it's necessary and it's true to have pluses and minuses. Some beautiful explosion of diversity has resulted in the fact that some trees are big physically and some are small, that an ant is tiny, that a lion is bigger, that an elephant is bigger, that bodies are different shapes and sizes, that we have different roles in society and in our families. These are all natural and beautiful expressions of life. Diversity and the beautiful explosion of expression outwardly can be celebrated. Inwardly, if we try to hold pluses and minuses, it's against deeper truth and it robs us of compassion. I can be the managing director of several businesses, which I am, and outwardly I know my place and my role in that capacity. Or as a teacher, I know my role there. And I know that that role is different to someone who works for me. If I confuse that and put pressure on somebody who's junior to suddenly be equal to me in decision-making, power and responsibility, that would collapse the integrity of my company. So I can have the external roles and differences, but inwardly I honor and I feel and I tune in and I clearly see that everyone is equal in being, equal in dignity, the dignity of being, that this being is equal to me, that their essence, that who we are at the deepest level belongs and is equal. And that opens my heart and brings compassion in a very real, unforced, not fake way, right? So we bring compassion in when we choose to find that inner being of equal to somebody with many PhDs and someone with nothing, with ignorance, equal to somebody with a very, very big bank balance and someone with no bank balance. Inwardly equal, outwardly an expression of life, an explosion on the canvas of life with a necessary, unique expression of differentness and different roles, different levels of responsibility, different functions in life, but inwardly equal. You got it? Compassion also means being compassionate and equal to everything that shows up on the inside. Our thoughts, our feelings, our pettiness, our jealousies, our very non-spiritual, non-good-looking, raw and real humanness. Why not be equal to everything that shows up, inner and outer, that helps to access true compassion? And compassion invites deep listening so that we can move from the surface where our attention and our bucket is dragging through the sand. We can send that bucket inwards to find clear wisdom. Curiosity is such a helpful ally when we are meditating, practicing mindfulness, and coaching, guiding, supporting others to find inner wisdom. Curiosity is gentle, it's light, it brings in a sense of wonder. So instead of meditating and asking in a very serious, forced way, what is the solution? Evoke curiosity to listen deeply. Curiosity helps that bucket go deeper. I'm just curious, what are some possible solutions? And be genuinely curious, which means that you're willing to be surprised. You're willing to discover new ways of seeing, new ways of being. When we're coaching, it's also helpful to evoke a tone of curiosity. Make sure that it's sincere, so really tune in, intend to be curious. Find what is curious and interesting, sincerely, so that when we ask questions and when we are inquiring, we are bringing in a sense of, I wonder. So that curiosity helps to soften the edge of how we speak and how we ask in meditation and mindfulness practices, as well as in master coaching. That curiosity is going to take the edge off, and that is going to help with deep listening, sending that bucket down to find the water of clear seeing and clear being.